Boom, what up boys and girls, it's your man 50 Grand. We're back with another video today to give you a preview of this bad boy, the Sigma 50 F1.2 DG DN lens. Let's go. Now, I'm not one for doing previews too often, but in this case, we now have options on the Sony E-mount system for 50mm f1.2 lenses. Obviously, we have the GMaster 51.2 lens, but we also now have the Sigma 51.2 lens, and people are going to be asking the question, which one should I get? I am going to give you guys a full review, but I just got my hands on this thing. It's a hard lens to get a hold of. Shout out to Cardinal Camera for hooking your boy up with this lens. It's straight out the gate. It just got released. It's really hard to get a hold of. I got a copy, but I've only shot stuff around the house, the kids, animals. Yesterday, I took it on a shoot with me to Davidson College. Really testing it out kind of for the first time live in the field. And this week I will be heading to Miami for various shoots, styled shoots, and fun things like that. So the more I have it, the more I get to test it and like put it through its paces, especially compared to the GMaster 50. Then I'll give you a full review. But for today, I'm going to tell you how I think this thing performs so far with my limited use of this lens. Okay, so let's get into just some of the specs here. This lens has 13 aperture blades. The Sony GMaster has 11. That is important or not important compared to maybe what you believe in conventional wisdom. I know a lot of people think that the more aperture blades you have in the lens, the more beautiful and rounded bokeh you're going to have. That being said, I haven't taken shots with this lens and just been like, oh my God, this is way better bokeh than the Sony GMaster or anything like that. Like I said, I still have to shoot with it a little bit more, but you can talk about the quality to Sigma here and the fact that they do have more aperture blades. When it comes to autofocus, I feel like this guy focuses super fast so far. Like it feels like a native lens. I know a lot of people will think that, hey, you're not going to get just as good performance as you would out of a GMaster since it is native. But just the few shoots I've done with this so far, I don't feel like this is lagging in any stretch of the means when it comes to a native lens. Sigma says it has 2 HLA motors in here that will help it be super silent and fast when it's acquiring focus. I'm going to put the definition for what HLA means right here. Because, you know, who can remember all these acronyms, you know, but I got you covered. Y'all know the boy got you covered. That being said, I've only used it just a little bit of maybe a few hours worth of time. I haven't heard any autofocus noise. Also doesn't really matter so much to a photographer. I'm not really doing much video at all, really. So outside of my Pocket 3. So any noise it makes, I don't really care. But that being said, it's been virtually silent. All right, when we're looking at this lens, it's very similar to like any of the other DGDN lenses. You get the manual focus to autofocus lock. You got your aperture locking right here, and you also have a programmable button. The build quality of this feels amazing. I mean, it feels like any other DGDN lens. I mean, they all are made amazingly. They all feel great. They all feel better than a lot of the competitors' lenses out there, I can tell you that. It is weather sealed. We got a rubber gasket here, so for safety, you can feel like this bad boy is going to hold up in any weather situation. I know a lot of people will say, well, you should always go with the native lens version of a lens because it's going to work just as quick. I think most people that did a review of the Sigma 85 DG DN lens all said that it performed way better and everything looked better, sharper than the 85 GMaster lens. I would hold that same feeling today. The 85 DG DN by Sigma is the best 85 I've used on Sony. Just because something isn't native doesn't mean it's not going to perform just as well, if not better sometimes, than the native lenses. I think what I'm holding out for is the Sony GMaster 51.2 had something special about it. Like it had a character to it. It's something that you couldn't put your finger on. I know a lot of reviews spoke about that as well. Like some of the lens flare was special. Backlighting had a very nice cinematic look to it. I'm waiting to put this guy through paces like that on more shoots to test out backlit situations and all these different situations to see if he's got enough character and something special about him that would make you want to pick him over the Sony GMaster. You can see I'm shooting through some trees here at some of these girls, and I do that because I like to layer. I like to get some stuff in the foreground that's bokeh out, and then stuff behind the subject bokeh out. And it all looks very beautiful. So that being said, this is just a preview. This is just my first kind of initial thoughts on how I'm feeling about this lens so far. But stay tuned. Give me about 2 weeks. Like I said, I'll be in Miami this week on a bunch of shoots, and then I have a bunch of shoots next week. After I put this through those shoots and kind of compare the results to the 50 GMaster, I'm going to give you my full review on whether or not I think that you should pick this guy over the 50 GMaster. And until then, I can tell you, I am loving this lens. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking. Thanks for being here with me. Please subscribe. Leave comments down below on which lens you might think will be the best, or if you've had both and tried both, which ones you think is the best. And I'll reply to you. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Love y'all. Peace.
Nice to be in orbit.